the two-tone stuff, that's what you're playing in your band. That's what the selector is, and that's what the specials are, a few other some. So you need to kind of keep it to those three things. So if I were you, I would play that video of the how to do the ska dance first, because that's kind of the first wave ska, isn't it? And people have been watching these presentations for hours. It's going to be a bit boring, so we want them to be interested. And I think quite right, you should get everybody up doing that dancing, because you started off by talking about ska when we hadn't got it in our ears. And it's better if we've heard it and if everyone's actually moving to it as well, and we can play it much louder in the venue, then when you're then talking about it, people have contextualised what they've just heard with what they're hearing you say about the characteristics, if you know what I mean. And it's important to start in a kind of exciting way, I would say. And then when you're reading, so you were like reading from the screen, when you just have some ska on underneath, quietly. You can always still have the screen up. You can just pull that thing out and stick it into a phone while he's speaking, and then put it back in there when you want to play a video. Just have a bit of the flavour of ska just there in people's ears, I would say. I've just made notes with a pen now because I've run out of battery on my iPad. See what was to do then. I can't read this word I wrote. Noah. It was the word Noah. Good. I think the important thing about when you're talking about the origins of ska is that it's people from one culture, this Caribbean culture, which is very laid back, and it's very hot there. Yeah, people smoking weed, and it's kind of a laid back culture, slow paced. They're hearing this upbeat American music over the radio, this sort of rhythm and blues stuff, and then they're attempting to play it themselves, and so it's a really laid back. Ska's one of those genres that's really laid back, but also quite fast. It's that juxtaposition between the two things that makes it sound really interesting, I think. So I think that's where the kind of upbeat thing comes from. It's almost like they're playing it wrong, and then it becomes their thing, and then that's the thing they do, and it's better, and it's good, it's their thing, isn't it? What we need at the beginning there is loads of examples, because you're not playing any of that early ska music, so you're mentioning people. I've forgotten their names, the people that you say set up the sound systems or whatever. They're the kind of early ska stuff. I mean, Desmond Dekker, that's a name that springs to mind, that had I think probably late 60s hit with the Israelites, you know that one? I woke up in the morning, walked in oh, the Israelites. Do you know that song?
Yeah.
That's one you could play. But right there, we don't mention any of the two-tone stuff. Just keep it all original ska stuff. That dancing thing, and then play some early ska. Play some examples of 50s and 60s ska music, so we can hear it. So we can hear what that original first wave sounded like. Then. So okay, now we're going to talk about the second wave, and then play that documentary about two-tone, because that's good. It goes back in time a bit. All of that bit we watched up to was fantastic. Maybe a bit more. I don't know, because you've got time. You was a little bit under. I think you only started just before 4 o'clock, so it's only 22 minutes past now. You know, so you've got time to put in more music and put in a bit more documentary, but you need to look at that 30-minute documentary, decide which bits are the best bits to play, so you might want to jump from bit to bit, but that first bit was brilliant. And then you can talk about the two-tone stuff. Madness is not a good example, to play there. Madness I would play as after the Two Tone stuff, because it's 80s. All this specials stuff was like late 70s, and Madness sort of came after them. So I'd play the documentary first, and then play stuff like the specials and Selector, and because Two Tone was a record label, wasn't it? You know, it's a really good name for a record label that's playing music that's black and white people playing together. So yeah, so you can play the Madness, but play that after you've done all the specials and stuff. Yeah, that's all I've got. And then yeah, the way you end it's great. But yeah, no, actually, play some examples of that as well. Play some Real Big Fish or Less Than Jake at the end, so people can hear